Welcome to Lineups and Lures, where the talk runs from the dugouts to drift boats. We're all about the games we play and the waters we fish, the stories, the rivalries, the moments that keep us coming back. If it happens under the lights or out on the water, we're in. This is Lineups and Lures. Well, we're in the dog days of summer. Mariners are right there. It's within grasp. 3 games back of the wild card, 4 games back in the division where there's still a light at the end of the tunnel. The season's not completely over yet. Do you agree, or do you think that this thing is just over and we're just hanging on to hang on right now?
All right, so the reality is we have, let's see here, 162 minus 66 minus 59 is 37 wins. 37 games remaining as of right now today. I think we probably need to win 25 to 28 of those games to make it.
That many, huh? To make it as a wild card team, or to win the West?
So the funny thing is, we may make it with a worse record winning the division than the wild card.
Correct.
Because I think there are 3 teams in the American League East that are going to the playoffs.
There could potentially be 4 teams in the AL East that go to the playoffs, which is wild.
Yeah, and the other thing is that, a month ago, if you looked at the Mariners' run differential, we were still like plus 40, plus 50 in the green. Since the All-Star game, we are now minus 23. Which means we've been outscored by about 60 to 70 runs, round numbers, in the last month. That's not good.
No, the offense is killing us. There's just zero consistency, and I'll give it to Cal. He came out and made some comments publicly last week about his struggles this season, and he made some really excellent points that I think we actually talked about a little bit last year about this time after watching the Rays come into town, or we went to Tampa and we just got demolished by single, double, stolen base. And, it's like he said, he goes, maybe a little bit more focus on the team aspect, hitting the ball the other way, take singles, not try for the long ball every time. Well, if you watch his approach, I don't think his approach has truly changed. Like, that front hip, front shoulder are still pulling off. He's still trying to hit everything high and out of the park, pull side, which I get, hit the ball and pull side in the air. That's a good approach for a lot of guys, but you're not going to win games consistently unless you're playing it in Houston where you got the short porches all over the place. Like that home run he hit Saturday or Sunday was only a home run in Houston. You got to play in a park like that. And I was going to save this for a little later, but all you hear everyone talking about is home run, home run, home run, power, power, power. I thought the Taylor Ward deal was fantastic because...
Except that he's hitting a $150 in the Seattle uniform.
Well, he's also had some quad soreness. He's missed the last couple games. I think he's just kind of getting his approach refined and getting adjusted to being in Seattle. But the point is when you look at all those early 2000s teams and kind of the makeup of the Mariners historically, Safeco Field's never been a hitter's park. It's always been a pitcher's park, so we got to get guys that can get on base, that can run the bases, singles, doubles guys, not necessarily home run hitters, and that's how we're going to be successful. So we bring in a guy who's the 2026 version of Taylor Ward is a on-base fanatic. Him and Randy are we're 2 of the top 3 in on-base percentage. So we went out and got a guy who fits the Mariners' generalized philosophy of how to play at Safeco Field. But then all you hear about is everyone just talking about, you got to hit the long ball. We got a power drought. If we don't score 4 runs a game, we don't win. Or if we don't hit a home run every game, this is our record. We got to look beyond that and start looking at why are the Tampa Bay Rays 74 wins, leading, second in Major League Baseball behind the Brewers, another team they're not big home run hitting teams. They produce runs, they play the game the right way, they take extra bases, and they're successful year in and year out because of that. I just wish the Mariners would, Edgar, Dan, like, let's go back to what makes the Mariners great at Safeco Field. Pitching, defense, timely hitting, not necessarily just home runs.
Well, if you're looking for an argument, you're going to be waiting for a while.
You can't even,
I think,
you can't even take the other side?
I don't want to take the other side because I agree with you. And the funny thing is, I think in all fairness, DePito tried. He went and got Brendan Donovan, who was meant to be, the on-base king, except the guy's played 30 games of baseball this season.
Yep.
I mean, he was meant to be the spark plug. You put him, and then, the other thing is JP gets on base pretty well. His games played is down significantly. Just looking at the regular season, you look at, Rayleigh's missed 30 games. Cal's missed 30 games. JP has missed 30 games. Robles, Garber. Donovan's only played 30. He's essentially missed 90 games. He's played a quarter of the season. I think in a way, the front office did their job. I mean, you can't control a guy's health, unfortunately. And it's not like these guys were notoriously injured players, at least not to my knowledge. So, Cal's been the most, he's played more games as a catcher than anybody over the last 5 years.
Yeah.
So, I think you're right. And I think the fact that, look, baseball's a game of habit. Baseball's a game of repetition. And when you've got a lineup that's coming, in my opinion, the guys don't even need to check the lineup card, right? They just know where they're playing, what spot in the lineup they're hitting, because it's been the same lineup for the last week and a half, other than maybe a righty-lefty switch or a rusted day off or something like that. But you see what I'm getting? Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Oh, the consistency and just knowing where you're at every day at that level is huge.
Well, and I think the fact that, unfortunately, and people want to go yell at Dan, but, there's been guys played third base that I don't even know who they are. You and I, how many times have we sat around going, how are we going to get all these guys in the lineup? Well, so far we haven't had that problem.
Yes.
I'd love to have that problem, but we don't got it right now. And quite frankly, Dan Wilson's probably saying the same thing. I'd love to have that problem. I can't get enough guys healthy to fill the lineup cut.
Well, that's the problem. Looking at the injury report just right now, Robles is out for a little bit. Taylor Ward's missed 4 straight games. Let's see, who else? Colt Emerson. Do we want to get into this whole fiasco going on with his injury? JP Crawford might be done for the rest of the season as well. Like, all of a sudden, we don't have...
Is it really that bad?
Well, he according to media reports, he got a injection, and that was supposed to be a 3 to 5 day thing, and that was like a week and a half or 2 weeks ago. And he's already not going to play on this road trip, so he didn't play in Houston. He's not playing these next 3 games starting in Milwaukee. So there's something going on there that's way bigger than just inflammation.
Yeah, no, that's...
So who plays shortstop?
Well, is Donovan ever going to play?
Yeah, he came back this weekend, and they moved him back to the leadoff spot. And, I don't think he hit leadoff on Friday, but I know he hit leadoff on Saturday and Sunday. And it was a completely different offense. We won both games. Like, it was kind of the way everything was drawn up at the beginning of the season.
Right.
Which was good to see, other than, Cal hitting in the 7-hole. Nobody expected that.
Well, to your point, he struck out like 36% of his at-bats.
On fastballs.
I don't care what pitch it is. At the end of the day, you can't. Randy and Julio are no great. They strike out about a quarter of the time. But, they're also hitting 270, 260 with, significant doubles, home runs, RBIs, stolen bases. yeah, I mean, I just we got to get this lineup healthy for a run, and I think you and I spoke about it, multiple times previously that we kind of expected Emerson to hit a wall, and we kind of expected him to maybe platoon going down the stretch at best, maybe, hit against, hit when the pitch is on the right side of the mound for him. Maybe, so if they're running that four-man rotation, he gets to start. He gets to start once, maybe twice a week type deal. So, and the other thing is, how injured is Brian Wu?
Yeah, that's the other question. I mean, shoulder soreness. If you remember, that was the same thing he had last year at the end of the season.
So, does that now mean that it's time to go get the rookie?
Well, that's what I was trying to think about is if it's. I mean, he's got a whole 5 days, 6 days to see what happens. I don't know when Cade last started, but this might be that window for here it is. Here's your time to do it.
So I gotta figure if you go three-man rotation in the playoffs, it's Gilbert, Hancock, and Kirby, assuming Wu is hurt. And even if he's not, if he's going to need a few 2 to 3, 4 weeks off, which basically gets us to the playoffs, he's not going to be able to come out and throw 8 innings. So I think you move him to the pen with Miller. And if you go four-man rotation, you go Anderson. That's how I'd run it.
Yeah, and I think you got to give Anderson a shot here in the next, this as much as you hate to see an injury, this is like the perfect time for an injury. Or, let's just have Wu skip a start and let's let Cade Anderson make his major league debut. The Braves did that with J.R. Ritchie this year where they brought him up, had him make one start, and they sent him right back down. I think the Phillies did that back in the day with Mick Abel. Hey, make one start, and they sent him back down. Like you're just filling in for one spot just to get his feet wet, get that experience, and it gives you a little bit of a chance to see what you got. Doesn't have to be a long.
7 innings? What if he throws 7 innings of 2-hit baseball?
Fantastic. He's still getting sent down the next day.
Jesus. Topito's getting a call from that guy's agent if that happens.
Well, but I mean, he knew going into it that he was filling in just for the day, for the one start. So I think it's acceptable. But yeah, these injuries are just happening at the wrong time. But the Colt Emerson thing, I don't know how much you've seen this. He's had this left
wrist. Is he hurt or did he get sent down?
Well, so he was going to get sent down, and so the I don't remember what the day was. Let's say it was Monday. He was going to get sent down.
Well, and that was so Donovan could come back up, essentially, right? And they just traded. They traded for Ward. He'd been hitting like dog poo poo, so it was time to make a change.
Yes. So they went to send him down, and then he stopped and said, "Oh no, my wrist hurts. Let's get this thing checked out." So then they ended up putting him on the IL. So apparently he's had this ongoing wrist issue for weeks, which can probably excuse a little bit of his offensive struggles. But so apparently he's been injured and playing through it and wasn't telling anybody. So they're saying that the front office didn't know until they went to send him down, and he's like, "Oh, hey, but I got this injury." It's interesting.
Well, I see. You know me, I love myself a little conspiracy theory. I think this is just an old-fashioned. The kid didn't tell anybody because he didn't want to lose his spot in the big leagues. Seriously,
that's my guess.
It sounds like to me.
That's what
I don't think there's any. I don't think there's anything untoward here. I think the kid made the same mistake a lot of rookie guys have done, and they don't want to lose their spot, so they don't tell anybody that they're hurt. And they could have sat out for 3 weeks in June or July when it didn't mean shit and been fine. And instead, now when we get into the business end of the season, they've hurt their stats, they've hurt the team. Not, and I'm not going to use the word selfish, but in a way, it is kind of a little bit. It's like I don't want to lose my spot.
Yes. Well, that's the problem. So, I mean, right? They always say you're not going to lose your spot because of injury. Like there's going to be
Yeah,
something there. That's not true.
I'll trust Drew Bledsoe how that went.
Exactly.
21 years later, the spot became open. I mean, honestly, ask Peyton Manning about that one. They go and make the number one pick, and by the way, Andy Luck's playing quarterback, and you're off to Denver. Oh, I mean, and that's the first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah, it happens. That's for sure.
They're both Hall of Famers, but anyway, so yeah, no, I hear you.
So let's wrap this up though. So, what do you think the key is over the next? Would you say 30 games or so, 35 games for the Mariners to make the playoffs? Games. What do we got to do?
Health. One word, health.
Health? That's it. You just run that same lineup out?
I mean, at the end of the day, you don't got a lot of choice. And quite frankly, on paper, it's a pretty stinking good lineup. I just think the reality is that we haven't had consistency. We haven't had a lineup where it's, here's the lineup, here it is, go play. And that's a real deal, and I'll stand by that statement all day long. And the other thing is it wouldn't hurt if our catcher happened to just catch fire down the stretch. And, look, this is the time of year that we have got three guys in this lineup that we paid very handsomely. 8-figure-a-year guys. Naylor, Julio, Randy, and Cal. I know Canzone's had a nice little season. Rayleigh's had a nice little season. JP's having JP seasons, although even he's down a little bit this year. If the veteran guys can stand up, if Julio can play like the $500 million man he wants to be, if Cal can somehow find a stroke over the next month and a half, yeah, I really think we can win 30 games out. I think we can go 8 out of 2 the rest of the way home. We've got the pitching to do it. So if we can get healthy and play catch and hit it a little bit, yes, I think we're still in the game.
Yeah, I agree. I think I don't want to put all this pressure on Cal, and I don't want to say the whole season continues to evolve around his ability to turn his season around, but it does. Like that.
No, it does, and it is okay. It is okay to say that.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah,
would the Chicago Bulls have been any good without Michael Jordan?
Yeah, but
would
Michael
the Lakers
Jordan
have been any good without Kobe?
Different game.
Those guys never had a down year.
I know.
Those guys didn't have down years.
It's a different game.
What, they finished,
You're telling me
instead of finishing first, they finished second in the Player of the Year ballot. It's not like they finished 78th.
Yeah. Well, okay. So let's the two of us go out and we'll shoot free throws, and then we'll go hit off a 95-mile-an-hour fastball, and we'll see which one we can still do in our early 40s. I'm pretty sure we can still shoot free throws. Like, basketball is a much different game than baseball.
Well, no, but I'm not talking about, like, longevity. I'm talking, Cal's, 28, 29? He's right in his prime.
He is, but, between the long season, the WBC, I heard a rumor that his girlfriend broke up with him at the beginning of the season, which kind of maybe that messes him up. He just got into this funk, and he's going to need a full off season to get out of it. So we just need an average Cal for the next couple of weeks. Julio's doing what he needs to do. August Julio is here. Like he's leading this team offensively. Randy's getting on base. We need Donovan to stay healthy. If he can stay healthy, do what he needs to do. If we can get some sort of a hybrid of 2025 and 2026 Taylor Ward, then that trade deadline deal was fantastic. We just need Naylor to stay healthy. We need Canzone to keep doing what he's doing. And then the shortstop is a big question. I just don't know what's going to happen there, and hopefully JP can get back. I'm assuming that Emerson's done for the year, but they got to find something. I mean, they went out today and picked up Andy Ibanez, who's a veteran backup infielder, which kind of leads me to believe. So they just went and
got a defensive replacement, basically, right?
Yeah, but that leads me to believe that, like, one, if not both of those guys may not be coming back, at least for a while. And this schedule that we have right now is brutal. This is not an
Yeah, but
easy schedule.
if you're gonna beat them in the playoffs, you might as well beat them now too. So,
At
yeah,
Milwaukee,
no, I get it.
at home against the Cubs, at home against the Phillies, at the Blue Jays, at the Red Sox. That is a gauntlet leading into September. And then September, if we can get through that,
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Hold, whoa, whoa, whoa. Quick sidebar.
okay,
Are we flying to Boston?
to go see Rutschman, who's 1 for 17 right now.
Who cares?
No, we're gonna wait till next season because Boston comes to Seattle for opening day.
Oof. Oof.
Yes.
Cutting into my Arizona time, but okay. So, agreed. We need health and pitching. Regs?
Yes, we need to stay healthy on the pitching side. We need to get healthy at shortstop position. Donovan needs to stay healthy. And then we just need one other bat to somehow catch a little bit of fire.
How's that train in the background?
That's great. Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's see if they can't catch fire.
Hey there, I'm Chad with Jackson Painting and Remodel, and if you're looking to give your home a fresh new look, you've come to the right place. Whether you need a bold new color for your living room or a fresh coat to brighten up your home's exterior, my team and I have got you covered. We specialize in both indoor and outdoor painting, using only the best materials to make sure your space looks amazing and stands the test of time. If you're ready to transform your home, visit jacksonpainting.com. I'd love to come by, chat about your ideas, and give you a free estimate. At Jackson Painting and Remodel, we don't just paint, we make your vision a reality. Again, visit jacksonpainting.com or call 503-620-2600.
After a long day on the water or hard training session, your muscles are tight, your body's worn down, and just sleeping it off doesn't cut it anymore. Where guys go to actually recover. Real therapeutic massage, infrared or traditional sauna, red light therapy, PEMF, and compression. Everything your body needs to stop hurting and get back out there. The same recovery tools the pros rely on, right here locally. No membership required, no commitment, just show up and feel the difference. Solvita Wellness Spa. Find us at solvitaspa.com or on Southwest Barrows Road near Progress Ridge and Tigard. Your body did the work, let us handle the rest.
So reports are starting to come out. End of the season for Major League Baseball is right around the corner. Just the last day or two, I've seen Alex Cora, who turned down the offer to be the manager of the Phillies after getting fired from the Red Sox. Phillies go and hire Don Mattingly. Well, they're now saying that Alex Cora is likely to be the team's next manager, unless the team makes it like deep into the playoffs or all the way into the World Series. If you're Don Mattingly, how do you feel about that? I mean, that guy turned that team around.
So here's the only thing I would say. Is there, and has Donnie Baseball basically come out and said, I'm 65, I've got a bag of money in my back pocket, and, golf and the country club and the wife and the grandkids doesn't necessarily sound like a bad deal. Has that conversation been had?
Behind closed doors, I don't know, but he, in an interview, did say that he was willing to and would like to return in 2027 as the manager.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's got a team that's built to win a World Series, so I get it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's hard, man. I mean, I barely have enough time to watch a Mariner game here and there, let alone watching everybody else. And then, baseball's not like football, right? You can sit down on Sunday and pretty much, get the whole week put together. But I don't know exactly how great of a manager he is. It's tough. I can't comment. I mean, obviously he's had some success, but he's also, coached some pretty stacked teams. So, that was tough. I don't know. I mean, I think it's kind of ridiculous to say, before the season's over, if you don't win, it's one thing if it was like, hey, if you don't take us deep in the playoffs, you're done, because this lineup's good. But to go and say, if you don't win the World Series, you're out. And by the way, we've already got the replacement. That's just I wouldn't run my business that way. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, Mattingly's been around the game long enough. I don't think this is something where it's going to be like, screw these guys, let's tank the season. Like, I think he wants to go out and win a World Series, because I don't think he's been to a World Series, right? Did he win one back when he was manager in the Dodgers? I don't think he did. So I don't think he's still been to a World Series. So I think there's a piece.
Did he not win one? Did he not win one as a player?
He did not. Yeah, he did not. I think 95 was the closest that they got when the Mariners beat him in the division series.
And then they won it the next year. He needed to play one more season.
Yep. So I don't know. It's kind of an interesting thing. And then if I'm the Phillies, I'm like, well, I already offered you the job. So you turned us down once. So what makes you think you're just going to automatically come back into this spot? It's going to be interesting. I'm going to follow this one from a distance and hope that the Phillies make a good deep run, and this provides a distraction from what could potentially be happening in Seattle if the Mariners miss the playoffs. Because now the reports are coming out of Seattle that if the Mariners miss the playoffs, Dan Wilson will be relieved of his duties. First thing, how do you take a Mariners legend and fire him in Dan Wilson? And you have to assume that if you fire Dan Wilson, you're probably firing Edgar Martinez too. So 2 Mariners Hall of Famers you're going to fire in one offseason because the team didn't perform?
I think anytime, whether you're looking at trading a player or firing a manager or whatever it is, it's easy to say fire. Okay. Who's next is the harder question. I mean, that's the real question. If who's going to do a better job? And, I will say that I don't like I think he goes to the bullpen too early. But then again, how many times have we also sat around and go, Kirby threw great for 5 innings and then gave up 4 runs in the 6th. So, at the end of the day, I still believe injuries, and we've talked about him enough, but number 29 has been the problem. If number 29 played 2/3 of what he did last year, which I think is what realistically we were hoping for, 230, 235 average, 35 home runs and 100 RBIs. That's what we wanted. If you've got that hitting in the 2 or the 3 hole, we're 10 games above 500 right now and cruising to the division. So it's not got nothing to do with Dan Wilson.
Oh, I totally agree. But, somebody has got to take the blame for a bad season, don't they? Or do you?
No,
personally, I run it back.
I run it back too. I mean, you were a couple outs away from the World Series just this time last year. And at the end of the day, sometimes you just got to turn around and get the ball bounced funny this year. We got hurt at the wrong time. Ball bounced funny. I mean, you think about to use a different example. The Chicago Bears last year went 11-6, 12-5, came out of nowhere, win the division. Everyone thinks they're going to make a run in the playoffs, get bounced early. They won 9 of their games by less than a touchdown.
Yeah, super close games.
In the NFL, instead of winning 9, they lose 9, and then they go 5-12 this year. That happens in baseball. Think about the one-run games. One-run baseball game where, you go from a foul ball that's fouled by 6 inches that ends up being a 2 RBI double down the line in the 9th inning. I mean, that's baseball. Run it back, brother. Run it back.
I agree. And, you kind of look at this and you go, we just barely missed the playoffs in 23. Then we had a really bad year in 24. And then we go out and we win 90, make the playoffs, and, 1 inning, 1 strike away from going to a World Series, or 1 out from World Series. I think 2026 is, if we don't make the playoffs, which there's still a slim chance, is more of that anomaly season. You got too much invested in this group. I think you just got to run it back and see what they can do.
And here's the reality. Your pitching staff is almost, I think it's the best front-to-back pitching rotation in baseball. I think the bullpen, when everyone's healthy, is one of the best in baseball. That's not me. That means the numbers support those. You figure if we can have health, you figure Emerson hopefully makes the jump that Cole Young made this year, right?
Yep.
Where he goes and hits 250, 260, 15, 20 home runs, swipes, 20, 30 bases, plays a hell of a shortstop. Okay. Now you've got Randy. Excuse me. Now you got the Randy situation to deal with because you got to pay him or you got to pay someone else. And quite frankly, you might want to pay him because, well, how many right-handed bats are out there that legitimately can do what he can do?
Well, the problem is you're going to have to pay Gilbert most likely this offseason, and you're probably going to be looking to try to extend Kirby as well. So I think Randy's probably gone, and Michael Arroyo ends up being our opening day left fielder next year.
So you think as a rookie he can come out and do it?
I think so.
Well, remember you got Taylor Ward to play.
That's true. No, he's a free agent. So I don't know that we're going to pay him. I mean, if you have to pay him the same, who do you keep, Randy or Taylor Ward?
With this lineup, you need Randy because you need the pop.
Yeah, but Taylor Ward's been a 30 home run guy. He just this year,
here's the deal.
Got on base
but
instead of hitting home runs.
The way I want this lineup to look is Donovan leading off. I want Julio hitting in the 2-hole. I want Cal hitting in the 3-hole. I want Naylor in the 4-hole. I want Randy in the 5-hole. And then you're some mixture of Canzone, Crawford, Young, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah,
I mean that's what that top of the lineup needs to look like. That's the way this roster was built. Donovan, Julio, Cal, Naylor, Randy, the rest.
Yeah, just get on base and find some way to flip that lineup over again. Yep. All right, so let's say we run it back and we keep Dan Wilson around. What about DePoto? A lot of people, when you miss the playoffs, start calling for the GM's head as well as the manager, and in our case, it'd be hitting coach because our offense struggled so much. So, people are saying maybe is DePoto on the hot seat as well. Before you answer that, let me just throw this out there. So since 2022, the Mariners have acquired all these guys at the trade deadline. Luis Castillo, Dom Canzone, Ryan Bliss, Randy Arozarena, Justin Turner, Gino Suarez, Josh Naylor, Taylor Ward. And all they've given up are essentially Noelvi Marte and Edwin Arroyo, two prospects that haven't even played in the major leagues. Same thing you said with Dan. If you go fire DePoto, are you going to find anybody half as good as him to come in and take his job?
You're talking about firing him. I'm talking to him about being front office executive of the year.
Right? I mean,
he's given up nothing. I mean, if anything, he should be having lunch with John Schneider once a week is what he should be doing, because John Schneider is the best in the biz, and we'll get to him a little bit later in the podcast. But no, I mean, you've got the draft picks that you got with that pitching stuff. The way you've brought that on. The only thing this team is missing is a right-handed bat in the middle of the lineup that scares the bejesus out of the opposition pitchers. We need somebody. If we could have Naylor hit 5, Randy hit 6, Canzone hit 7, Young hit 8, and whoever's playing shortstop hit 9, we need that left fielder, DH, whoever it's going to be that day, to be a right-handed bat that hits 35 to 40 home runs and puts the fear of God in opposition pitching and hitting the 4-hole. That's what we need.
Well,
That's the missing piece to this lineup.
We just traded for him.
No, we didn't.
Okay.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, what do you mean? So in 2024, Taylor Ward had 25 home runs. In 2025, he had 36 home runs. The guy can hit for power. He drove in over 100 runs in 2025. the guy can hit for power. It's just like for some reason this year he decided I'm going to cut down my strikeout numbers and I'm going to focus on getting on base and hitting for a higher average at the sake of hitting more home runs. So maybe this little 4 days off thing with this quote unquote leg soreness, maybe this is a chance for him to kind of regroup, take a breath, work with our hitting coaches and see if maybe we can get that power back out of him, because he's shown that he can average 30 home runs a year.
Great.
Let's do it.
We need another guy.
No,
you want to know who I think we should bring in?
Who?
And I think he would be perfect because he would play predominantly DH. And I think he's available.
Yeah, Junior Caminero is not leaving the Rays. I know you love that guy, but he's not leaving.
I've actually gone back to Earth, and I'm going to give you someone who I think is very gettable, is a right-handed bat, and would do everything, and would essentially be our DH. Because let's be honest, this guy can't field for worth a lick anymore. I'm not sure he ever could.
Okay, who you got?
What do you think about Pete Alonso?
Well, see, part of me said that the Orioles were trying to blow this whole thing up and this whole Adley trade situation and all these things. But now they're making this run at the playoffs. Gunnar Henderson was all pissed off. He might be wanting to get out. Alonso still hit 27 home runs so far this year. Like, he's still putting up his numbers. And I don't think his defense is that bad. He's not that bad.
Yeah, but we don't need him to play first base. We got a guy to play first base.
That's an expensive DH.
Well, so was Big Poppy.
It's true. That would
so
be
Shohei Ohtani.
Well, Shohei pitches.
But I mean, there's a guy that's legitimately gettable, right? Like, that is not like, yeah, that's never going to happen. That's like, well, for the right price, for if hey, how about we trade you Emerson Hancock straight across? They might be like, well, shit, we got to consider that deal, right? I mean, that's a legit deal right there. Both teams win. Baltimore needs pitching. We need a right-handed power bat. Done.
Yeah, and Baltimore doesn't want to spend money, so I just don't know. I don't know if Seattle can come up with $30 million a year to pay him, though.
Yeah, they are going to have to pay a couple dudes. So anyway, to bring it back to Dan, yeah, I think this is one of those years where maybe the ball bounces funny. Hey, you know what? In 30 days from now, if they peel off 20 out of 25 and they're sitting 8 games up, we're not having this conversation. So, I mean, there's a lot of things that can still happen.
Yeah, winning heals all wounds, right?
It does. It solves the locker room. It solves the front office. It solves the fan base. Just win, baby.
Step up your game at Portland Baseball Club. Whether you're a beginner looking to learn the fundamentals or an experienced player ready to take your skills to the next level, our expert coaches are here to help you succeed. Our training programs focus on developing key skills such as hitting, pitching, fielding, and game strategy through personalized instruction and hands-on drills. Join us for specialized clinics, one-on-one coaching, group training sessions, and year-round tournament teams tailored to all skills and age levels. With state-of-the-art facilities and a supportive environment, you'll gain the confidence and expertise to excel on the field. Don't miss your chance to become a part of Portland's premier baseball community and elevate your game today. Learn more at portlandbaseballclub.com and see how we inform, instruct, and inspire the next generation of athletes. All right, so we've always had kind of these discussions about getting into the flipping homes business. Buy it cheap, fix it up a little bit, sell it. We know a guy that does some painting and remodeling that would help us out.
Got it.
Do we need to switch gears and start looking at buying and flipping professional sports franchises?
Well, I would have been doing it for the last 20 years. I'm just a little short on the steak.
Yeah, and I can't cover the rest for you.
I mean, I don't think I'm a decimal point short. I think I'm a whole comma short.
Yeah, it's definitely a billionaire's game.
Yeah, and I no worries about that over here, pal.
Yes, yes. But man, there's been a lot of movement. The Blazers sold, the Seahawks sold, the Lakers sold, and then sold again, and then just today the Buss family sold their 17%. So the Buss family is no longer owners of the Lakers, which is pretty wild. The
Red Sox sold just a few years ago. Padres sold today.
Padres. There's been a lot of movement.
Well, and don't forget, it was only a few years ago that the Waltons bought the Broncos.
Yep. I believe the Celtics just sold recently.
And also remember that private equity bought a 15% stake in the Yankees.
And the Red Sox and the Orioles. There's been a lot of money getting thrown around in professional sports. I believe somebody once said that the best investment you can make is a professional sports franchise.
And one wife.
No, that too. That too.
So I think the Yankees got $2.6 billion for their 15% stake, which values them at just shy of $17.5 billion.
Not bad.
I don't even know what to do with it. I mean,
and just think about how much that's going to continue going up after they win back-to-back World Series this year.
No, that's the Dodgers.
Oh, sorry. Then think about how much the Dodgers are going to go up.
Yeah, no, this is nuts. Look, obviously, the size of your television market is one of the, well, no, I don't think it's one of, I think it's pretty much the deciding factor on what your franchise is worth, because that's where the money comes from. So, it's no secret that major markets like Seattle, Los Angeles, New York, Boston, are the ones driving these huge numbers. Yeah, I don't think it's going anywhere. What do you think?
Yeah, the price is just going to go up, and I think the Lakers are obviously the household name, but there's another household name that may be coming up for sale here pretty soon, unless there's something where it stays in the family, which I know his kid is, I don't know if he's GM, assistant GM, but he's definitely up there in the front office. But could you imagine if Dallas Cowboys came for sale? Just think about the value of that franchise.
I think if you're sitting around right now today, if they're valuing the Yankees in that $17.5 million range, I think the number's $25 billion.
Man,
that's a global franchise.
That's a lot of money.
But if you're looking at the numbers around and what things are selling for, you've got obviously an iconic team with a global franchise name. Great. I mean, let's be honest, it's a great franchise. They haven't been run very well, but they're still a great franchise. Every player in the league, it's a bit like wearing the Yankee pinstripes, right? Like there's playing for the Lakers. It's not about playing for the Dallas Cowboys, my friend. That's a big deal, which is kind of why, like you saw this year, that Von Miller is going to go finish out his career with the Dallas Cowboys. So, it's the Dallas Cowboys, my friend. That's the real thing.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. And, you look at the Lakers just selling for 12. I mean, the Seahawks are looking at 9.6. But, I mean, a couple years ago, 10 years ago, would you have ever thought the Seahawks were worth nearly $10 billion?
Well, I mean, I think it's all
pre-Super Bowls.
Well, I mean, they had a pretty good run there in the Hasselbeck years. They probably should have won that football game. They were the best team in football that year. Back then, were they worth $10 billion? No, but then neither were, the Blazers weren't selling for $4 billion 15 years ago either. So I think it's just a sign of the times. I think you've seen mass inflation, and I think you've also seen, look, this is a millionaire's This is a billionaires club, and with tech money, which is basically where all of this money has come from, either tech or finance. Um, you know, if what if Jensen Wang wants to get in the game next time around? There's guys out there. So I don't think we're done with this because essentially you're dealing with guys that have too much money. They get to play fantasy football with real players. And if I had that opportunity, I'd want to play too.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you see who purchased the Seahawks? And what his background was?
Yes, I forget the individual's name, but he was the founder of Sun Microsystems.
He was, but he was also he was an owner of the San Francisco 49ers too, a minority owner, I believe.
Well, yeah, but that happened like 5 years ago. He started Sun Microsystems 40 years ago.
Yeah. So now he went from being an owner of the 49ers to owning the Seahawks that own the 49ers on the field. So pretty good little transition for him.
Well, and I think the wife is actually listed as like the owner, and I believe his son is going to have some say so, but I don't think they're going to mess with that front office since they have the best general manager in all of sports.
Oh, no.
So they're probably good to just sit back and sit up in the owner's box, have a nice cocktail or some nice lunch, whatever their little heart's desire, and just watch John Schneider do his thing.
Yeah, and I think you got to keep Schneider around as long as you possibly can because that guy has been fantastic. And if you've watched Hard Knocks this year, you're getting to see him in action, which I think is cool, seeing that behind-the-scenes stuff because, I mean, what coach wouldn't want to, work with that GM? So
let's talk about John Schneider a little more. Do you know that Seattle had a crappy 22 year? We were kind of in the Russ hangover, if you will, where I don't really want to talk about those Geno Smith years because I think we all kind of knew that we were just treading water and we were putting a product on the field that was right around 500. It gave us a little tease of the playoffs, but we all knew they were stockpiling picks like crazy, clearing up salary cap room to go make a run. And I believe the 23 draft class is when it started. In 23, we had 2 first-round draft picks. We had Alice plus the one we got back from Denver for trading for Russ. Do you know who those 2 picks were?
2 of the richest players in the NFL right now.
They are. Devin Witherspoon. And we got this wide receiver that just won Offensive Player of the Year. Although they did try to call it the Defensive Player of the Year, but that's a story for another time. So, I mean, if you just look at that's where it starts. And the fact that the defense is, I mean, are we prepared to say it's 2.0 at this point?
No, because it's not a reboot of the LOB. It's the Ministry of Darkness or something?
Mission over BS.
Yeah, they have some nickname for that, but
well, I told you what it is. Mission over BS.
Okay.
Is MOB, mob.
That's right. I mean, this is a shutdown defense, and we have, when healthy, a pretty good running game, and a quarterback who last year showed that he doesn't want to turn the ball over, which is kind of nice to see, especially after those Geno years. We're on a track right here, and we're getting no respect in the national media.
Well, okay. So, look, 2 things I have on that. Number one, okay. The Rams are pretty stinking good too. Let's not kid ourselves.
Well, and if they get Donald back too, oh man.
And they went and got they had a problem at cornerback. Okay, they just went and got 2. They went and spent $60 million a season to play cornerback. And they have the best. Well, all right, I'm not gonna. They have a top 3 quarterback in the league. How about that? So I don't get into too much trouble. They're legit. They are. And I think the other thing is it's a little bit of the ESPN national bias where more people care about LA than the Seahawks, although they can't ignore Seattle right now. And they're not, but I think they're giving LA a little more love.
Of course.
So
I'm a little bit interested
yeah.
to see this LA thing. What's going to happen with Puka? Like, do you think there's any chance the NFL comes out and maybe slaps him on the wrist for all of his offseason antics? Maybe that costs him a couple games.
I think Puka is an absolute enigma because obviously he has been told to zip it since the issues he had over like Christmas, New Year, and there was some rumors of maybe some inappropriateness with the female of the species, and obviously late nights involving whatever choice of whether it was alcohol or anything else.
Yes.
So look, he's kept a very low profile, and the reality is I would have said at this time last year, before his antics during the season, if JSN got whatever he got, then you would have just put 10% on top of that, and he might have got it. I think the Rams are treading very carefully here, and I think there's going to be I think right now they're probably not arguing over money. They're arguing over the character clauses inside of the contract.
Oh, I would
That would
agree.
be my guess.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Rams are going to want a way out if he turns into a mess, if he turns into an Antonio Brown, which I'm not saying he is. I want to be very clear. I'm not saying he is. And he hasn't done anything of that level at this point. To this point, he's been a 23-year-old man that's got way too much money and attention. Hopefully he figures that out.
I hope so, because I think it's good for the NFL to have this Seattle LA rivalry going on, because it's quite a rivalry. I mean, those games. Those games last year at the end of the season were phenomenal.
So I want to bring it back to John Schneider for a second. So basically, the rebuild started in 2022. Okay,
Yeah.
That's when, that was when it was the Russ was gone. It was time to move on. I'm not going to name every draft pick, but I'm going to go over the last 4 draft classes, and I think you might fall out if you check. Okay, in 22, we drafted Charles Cross, who is still our left tackle, Boye Mafe, who's still playing on the defensive end, Kenneth Walker, who just won the Super Bowl MVP, Abraham Lucas, who is still our right tackle, Kobe Bryant, who unfortunately we had to let go in free agency because, we couldn't pay him all, Tariq Woolen, who, we all know about Tariq Woolen. That was the 22 draft class. In 23, Witherspoon, JSN, Derek Hall, Chardonnay, Bradford, Cameron Young, and Kenny McIntosh, were all in the 23 draft class. In 24, Byron Murphy, Christian Haynes, Tyrese Knight. We get A.J. Barner with a 4th-round pick. Are you kidding me? Pritchett, cornerback. That's 24 draft. 25. We get Zabel, Eamon Arroyo, Milrow, which we'll see. Riley Mills, the defensive end, is a stud. Torrey Horton's our 3rd wide receiver on the list. Robbie Oots is our fullback. These are all guys last year. And then this year, obviously, we got to see what we got to see here, but I think it's pretty safe to say that our running back and our safety that we drafted are going to be pretty good players.
Yes.
It's all homegrown. Yes, there's a couple of free agents sprinkled here and there, including quarterback, of course, but that's amazing. Like, he just doesn't miss.
No, he does not miss. I don't think we've ever seen a run by another GM quite like this one, and I'm just happy that he got acknowledged for it last year by winning the Executive of the Year, because that was so well deserved what he did to this franchise.
And so just to round out a little bit on Schneider before we talk about another couple of things with Seahawks did you see who one of his assistants in the building was on Hard Knocks the other day?
I did not. I have yet to watch episode 2.
Well, he's keeping it in the family. Kiddo is on the payroll as, assistant to the assistant to the assistant to the GM.
Oh, nice.
Now, I don't know if that's nepotism or the kid's going to be really good, but if dad's pretty good at it, you might want to give kiddo a shot at it.
Yeah, I mean, I think you give him a chance.
So, it wouldn't be the first time in professional sports that, being the kid of the right guy is a good thing. So, anyway, what's your thoughts on the Seahawks and where do you see them going this year?
I think that if we can stay healthy, we're going to have some epic battles with the Rams and the 49ers, and that's going to determine who wins our division. This could be one of those years where it's 3 teams battling for whoever wins the West, and I think that whoever wins the West is probably going to win the NFC. That's just a short, quick prediction.
I agree with everything except 3 teams. I think it's just 2 teams, but
you don't think the Niners are keeping up with them again?
Unfortunately, and I really don't mean to say this. I mean, I mean to say it, but I don't want to say it. I don't trust that they can stay healthy enough. It's just that's been a consistent problem down there, and until it changes, I don't know if they can be healthy come December.
Yeah, and that's
a real thing.
There's also talk that with all these contracts going out to Gibbs and Robinson, that McCaffrey's having a little hold-in right now because he's now the 5th highest paid running back or something in the NFL. So looks like he might be getting get paid, and he's getting old.
But that's just a product of when you sign your deal. I mean, that'd be like saying Aaron Judge is asking for a pay raise. Yes, there's guys getting paid more than him, but he signed his contract 6-7 years ago. That was the going rate when he signed it. You got to factor in time value of money, and I don't want to get all nerdy about it, but I think that's crap. And I think these, I just don't like when, if you sign a contract, sign a contract. Now, if you want to negotiate an extension that works for both teams, great. But finish your contract.
Yeah,
I don't doubt it's happening.
That's the game that the agents want to play, though. The agents want to try to leverage by doing these holdouts, and unfortunately, it works. I mean, if the 49ers don't have McCaffrey for the majority of that season, then that is such a completely different football team. Because Purdy can't.
Well, yeah, because he's a Swiss Army knife.
Yes. Yeah. They need him. So, he has all that leverage. It's just interesting. It's too bad.
Yeah, all the aging running backs start to lose a lot of leverage. And, I got to tell you, if it's that bad, I'd put him on the trade block and see what I can get for him.
Yeah.
I mean, someone's willing to overpay for him.
At least he's at camp. He's not like some of these guys that do straight holdouts and don't even show up to camp.
Right.
At least he's there, and he's just not participating in practice due to, I think they said, soreness.
Got it.
Yep.
All right. So here's a real legit question for you. Okay?
Okay.
Friday, December 25th. Otherwise known as Christmas. Are you on the couch or are you in the building?
Well, see, that's the problem is I got to figure out, am I on the couch at my house? Am I on the couch at my parents' house? Or am I in the building?
Oh, okay.
Because if I'm, my parents are halfway between Seattle and Portland, sort of. So I got to decide if we're going to leave Christmas festivities early to get home to watch the game, or if we're going to stay for an extra night for Christmas festivities and watch the game. I'm imagining we'll probably watch it on TV, especially since I may have just purchased tickets for opening night.
Huh.
But
I haven't done that yet, but I'm going to.
Yeah. Well, I might have a connection for you. I'm assuming the tickets.
Okay, we can talk about that.
We could talk about that later, but yeah, I don't know. That's going to be a really good football game, but that might be one where you just want to bundle up on the couch and enjoy it from.
Put the fire on and yes. Okay, last thing, Seattle Seahawks before we move on. The Seattle Seahawks went out and signed Terrion Arnold this week.
Yes.
And this is a very un-Seahawk move because Seattle is very well known for only signing, high character guys. I say that, and then I start thinking about Richard Sherman knocking the crap out of his wife, but neither here nor there. Are you familiar with the story of Terry Arnold?
I know he's facing, I believe, 8 felony charges and potentially life in prison.
Okay. What you said is accurate. However, there is a very strong possibility that he walks from this entire deal. So, for those that don't know, Terry Arnold basically had a bunch of his personal possessions stolen. Rather than calling the police, and I'm going to use the word, allegedly? Allegedly is what we're going to use. Allegedly.
Yes.
He got his buddies to find the guys that stole the stuff, beat the absolute crap out of the guys that stole his stuff, and grabbed his stuff and took it back. He was not there. He was not physically part of any of this. He was somewhere else.
Okay.
Now, I don't think anybody in their right mind doesn't understand that his boys were doing this because he told them to do it, but he wasn't there. The other thing is, while I'm not condoning what happened here, he didn't go steal stuff. He went and beat the crap out of some guys that stole his stuff. How bad is this?
I don't know.
Right?
I mean, it's
right?
Because the first thing when you started talking about this, I was like, well, I remember when O.J. Simpson went with a group of his buddies and robbed a hotel room in Vegas to steal all of his sports memorabilia back at gunpoint.
Yeah, but he sold that. He got paid already. These guys didn't pay for the stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, they found him guilty and, he served some time in prison. So it's hard because, like, everybody's coming out and talking about how good this guy is. And, he's a good football player. We already knew that. But, like, he is a good person and maybe he just made a mistake or whatever. Like, Dan Campbell's coming out and supporting him. But at the same time, like, I can't imagine that the NFL is going to just let this fly by. Because he definitely had some connection to the crime, it seems like, allegedly. I don't know. It's a hard one.
And then that comes down to the question of, if you go and beat the crap out of someone that stole your stuff, did you really commit a crime?
I mean,
are you not allowed to defend your own property?
So if you rob somebody and then you get beaten up, they like equal out?
I mean, I don't know exactly how the law works on this one, but
I don't think it works that way.
I mean, it probably doesn't. Well, I mean, because if he would have beat them up while they were in his house stealing the stuff, then there's no harm, no foul, because they were in his property. But yes, to go and seek them out, find them, track them down, touch them up, and then take your stuff back, while I don't necessarily disagree with the thought process, you just probably can't get away with that.
No, you can't. And I mean, I guess the question is, when is his next court hearing? When, like, what are timelines on this? Because I can't imagine there's any way that the NFL is going to allow him to play while he's facing 4 counts of kidnapping and 4 counts of armed robbery.
Right.
When all that's going on,
yeah,
but there's no trial date set. According to the reports,
I think he is on indefinite leave or whatever. But so regardless of all that, let's bring this back to the Seahawks. So this costs Seattle nothing.
Nothing.
Essentially, they have to pay him like the league minimum. It's non-guaranteed, and they don't have to pay him anything while he's on the, whatever it is, the commissioner's suspended list or whatever they call it. And I don't know, that's a pretty strong locker room. If that's one of those things where maybe one of the veterans kind of puts their arm around his shoulder and said, dude, you made a mistake, but we're going to make sure this never happens again, and you get to an opportunity, you get a Super Bowl ring and all this kind of stuff. Because from what I've been hearing is that they're saying 6 to 8 games, barring some major turn in the legal findings. So essentially, he would be ready for the second half of the season.
Which would be one heck of a trade deadline pickup.
Which they essentially got for nothing and they didn't have to give anything up. My only question is, can you root for that guy?
Well, Ray Lewis killed a guy, and he's kind of still a hero in Baltimore, isn't he?
Yeah, I don't root for Ray Lewis. I can't believe they let him on TV every week, but that's my opinion. But yes, you got to look at, I guess I rooted for Sherm, and although I think he did most of his silly stuff after his playing days.
Yeah, yeah. And he tried to beat down the door, and there was some stuff there.
But most of that was after his playing days, where I think he had a little bit more time to spend at the local whiskey bar.
Yes. I don't know. I think we got to let the legal process, run its course and figure out what let the evidence come out, let all the facts come out, let them argue it, and then let's hold off on making this decision until we have a little bit more details. Because right now it's all just speculation, and there's a lot of things that can happen. Because what if he's just not guilty? Like, is the NFL still going to suspend him? Is he automatically eligible to play right away? Like, without having a trial date? This thing, he may not go to trial till next year. So then how do you handle it? But I agree. I think signing him for peanuts was a good calculated gamble. And hopefully he didn't do what he's being accused of.
Yeah, no, very well played. And, well, as we know, sometimes being not guilty isn't enough. There's a certain starting pitcher that hasn't pitched in years. But story for another time.
Thanks for listening to Lineups and Lures. If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to rate, like, and share the podcast. It helps us reach more fans, more anglers, and more stories worth telling. We'll see you next time, whether it's out on the field or out on the water.